يدخلون وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ, or is it يَخْرُجُونَ? يَدْخُلُونَ means entering, and يَخْرُجُونَ means going out. Going out. When you see them going out, what do? This is my opinion, that we have to separate ourselves from that world which is waging war on Islam. And the best way to separate ourselves is to go to the countryside, to the remote countryside. And in the remote countryside, build villages, Muslim villages. They don't have to be exclusively Muslim. No, non-Muslims can live with us, as they've always lived with us, on the condition that you're waging no war on Islam. You must show respect for Islam, yes. You're a Hindu, you're a Christian, you can live with us. But you can't live with us and be part of the war on Islam and support our enemies. No. And that in these Muslim villages, you're organized as a jama'ah. And the jama'ah must have an amir. And the jama'ah must give the pledge to obey the amir. And the amir must enforce the deen to the extent that he has capacity to do so on the members of the jama'ah, in a small way, in the village. And if they come after you in the village as well, with their helicopters and their gunships, and terrorizing you in the village itself, well then what else is there but to flee in the mountain in a cave? But don't leave your Islam. Don't allow them to rob you of your Islam. Innahum, says Surah Al-Kahf, Innahum iyazharu alaykum yarjumukum aw yu'idukum fi millatihim walan tuflihu idhan abada. Those of you who are reciting Surah Al-Kahf every Jummah, you recognize the ayah. When they know that you are a Muslim, they're going to come after you. They're going to come after you. And they will terrorize you if you do not join with them in their godless melting pot. But if you do that, you will never succeed. This is what I have to offer during the interim while we're waiting for the Khilafah to be restored. Number two, that the subject of teaching the Khilafah must not stop. How many are there today who teach the people this subject of the Khilafah and inspire them? Hold on to the Khilafah. Don't hold on to this shirk, the modern secular state. How many are there? Thirdly, that even while we seek security in the remote countryside, in the Muslim village, Nabi Muhammad ﷺ said that there'll always be a part of my ummah who will wage jihad until the last day. There is jihad now. The struggle to liberate the Holy Land from the most awesome oppression that history has ever witnessed. That jihad is already going on. This afternoon we'll explain to you how it is Hamas won the elections. Not surprising. You hold an election in Pakistan now, a free and fair election. As soon as our election finished, Musharraf on some plane back to Washington. Yeah? He and the whole cabinet. You hold an election now in Jordan, a free and fair election. Why election finished? In fact, before the election, the king and the whole family, all the suitcases in the aeroplane gone to Washington. Because we can easily predict the results of all those elections. Don't come and tell we know because Fatah was corrupt and so on. That is not the real reason for Hamas's victory. Don't come with that. We know that the struggle to liberate the Holy Land, the jihad, is already in force. And therefore, until such time as the Khilafah is restored, we have a duty to support that jihad. When you see something which is munkar, change it with your hand. If you can't go and fight on the battlefield, then he said, change it with your tongue. Speak out. Nah, boy, if I do that, my business go collapse. Is that all the love you have for Allah? Shame on you. Do you put your business before your Lord? He gives you the breath that you have. He gives you the health that you have. He gives you the eyes with which you see. He gives you the tongue with which you talk. And that's the love you have for Him. You put your business before the Lord. Nah, boy. If I support the struggle to liberate the Holy Land, me go get no US visa. How I go to New York to buy goods to come back and sell? Is that all the love you have for the Lord? Do you put your business before the Lord? You put your US visa before the Lord? If you do not have the capacity to go and fight on the battlefield, then change it with your tongue. Speak out against it. Write against it. Be a man. If you can't do that, فَإِلَّمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِقَلْبِهِ, then at least, for God's sake, at least in your heart, you should detest that oppression. Oppression in the Holy Land, oppression in Iraq, oppression in Afghanistan. And yet we have leaders, even in this country, who support the oppressor. Until such time, therefore, as the Khilafah is restored, these are the things that we should do. How will the Khilafah be restored? Nabi Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam said, and Sheikh Ali Mustafa reminded me of the hadith last night when we were coming back from Barakpur. He said, even if it's the last day, even if the last day has come, Allah will lengthen that day, so that a man can emerge who will have my name, and his father's name will be my father's name. And he'll have a broad forehead and a large nose. And he'll be known as Imam Al Mahdi. Imam Al Mahdi. This is some child who disappeared in some cave. This is no Nancy story. That is a Nancy story. This is the true one. And he will rule the world with justice in place of the oppression which will be there prior to his advent. When will he come? You, my audience, having listened to the previous lectures, would understand that it is Allah who chooses the time for him to come. Number two, you, the audience, will understand that the advent of Imam Al Mahdi is an event, I'll use a long word now, is an event which will be contemporaneous, occurring at the same time, which would be contemporaneous with the return of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. You, my dear audience, would understand, having listened to the previous lectures, that Nabi Isa alayhi salam cannot return until Dajjal has completed his mission. It is so simple. It is so logical. Dajjal has first to declare, I am the Messiah. And people have to recognize him as the Messiah. And then he had to rub his hands and say, look at them, I'll give them a 6 for a 9. Mission accomplished. The great pretender. Only after that can the true Messiah return. And so, the advent of Imam Al Mahdi is something that is linked with the completion of Dajjal's mission. Dajjal's mission, when you read Jerusalem in the Quran, you will find my opinion, and Allah knows best, that Dajjal's mission is divided into 3 stages. Stage 1 lasting for a long, long time, and that already finished when Britain was the ruling state in the world. Stage 2, which lasts for a shorter period, and that is now finishing, when the United States of America would be the ruling state in the world. But the United States will not rule the world forever. In fact, this afternoon, when we look at the implications of an Israeli attack on Iran, which seems to me inevitable, I hope it does not occur, but it seems to me inevitable. If Israel attacks Iran, that's the finish. That's the end of the United States. We'll discuss that this afternoon. And so we are at a moment in time when stage 2 is coming to an end. Remember, this is my opinion. And stage 3 is about to commence. The last stage in the mission of Dajjal is the shortest. And in that stage, Israel becomes the ruling state in the world. Which is why Mr. Manning went on his pilgrimage to Jerusalem. See? You reading what we're writing? When Israel becomes the ruling state in the world, Israel will rule the world for a day like a week, a short period of time. When that has come to an end, then Dajjal will enter into our world, because his day will now be like our day. وَسَائِرُ أَيَّامِهِ كَأَيَّامِكُمْ. All his days, meaning all the rest of his days, will be like your days. So he'll be in our dimension of time. So we could see him. It is at that time when Dajjal is now ruling the world from Jerusalem, and children now at school should live to see it. Yeah. At that time we can expect the Imam. Not now. Where is the Imam going to come from? Not Indonesia, man. Indonesians are convinced. No. A Muslim ruler will die, and there will be profound disagreements concerning succession. That is entirely predictable. Fahad died, and Abdullah replaced him. But have a lot of grumbling going on in the background. When Abdullah dies, it's not just a matter of his last brother succeeded him, but more importantly, who go with the crown prince? So when Abdullah dies, you should see the grumblings coming out in the open. And imagine when Abdullah's successor dies, what could be like? So we can see it coming. At that time when there is disagreement concerning succession among those 3,000 or 5,000 princes of the royal family, a man will come out of Medina and hurry towards Mecca. And the people of Mecca will come out to him and force him to take the bay'ah, the oath of allegiance. That they will take the oath of allegiance to him at the Kaaba. And he will proclaim that I am the Mahdi, Imam Al Mahdi. So number one, he could be an Arab. Number two, he'll be a resident of Medina. He can't be Shia, because Mecca will never accept a Shia as the Imam. He has to be Sunni. At that time when he proclaims himself the Mahdi, how will we know that he is indeed the Mahdi? We will know that he is Nabi Isa alayhi salam because the Mahdi will confirm it. But how will we know that he is the Mahdi?